Hey, Rick McBride here with your Property Masters in 5 minutes of free time, McBride Realty Group. Today what I wanted to discuss was that you should leave when buyers come to look at your property. There's many reasons for this. We had the pleasure of taking out a couple from St. Louis this week. We showed them more than 10 properties while they were here, and as often is the case, all the properties start to run together when you're out looking at them. You can't remember this or that or another. We started discussing some of the features of one of them they liked, and guess what? None of them had people in them when we showed them. So all the ones they remembered were ones that were empty. They weren't necessarily vacant. People lived in them, but the people were not there when we showed it. We couldn't really remember much about the ones that had people. Why is this? Mainly it's because when you're purchasing a property, if you're not comfortable in the property, then you're not going to focus on the property itself. So it's important for the buyer to feel comfortable as they walk through the house. When the seller is there, they tend not to want to interrupt you. They're dancing around each other. They're focused on not being rude as opposed to looking at the house. They want to get out as quickly as they can because they don't have a comfort level. When you're gone, they joke around, they laugh, they contemplate furniture layouts, and they seriously consider purchasing your house if it'll work for you. When you're there, their focus changes. Rather than looking at the feature of the property, they tend to focus on where you are, what you're doing. Are you listening to them? Are you following them around and showing them what it is you like about the house? That's even worse. Now they aren't focusing on what they like about the house. They're focusing on what you're telling them they like about the house. And they're listening to you. Quite frankly, what they're doing is wishing you would leave them the hell alone. They do not want to be talking to you. Also, you are distracted. Some sellers will try to move out of the way of buyers as they walk through the property, and that's distracting as well. If you're just doing the showing dance shuffle, basically we can call it. It's more of a dance than a showing as the buyers shuffle around the property trying to avoid each other. Do you think they're going to remember anything about the property, or are you going to think they'll remember the dance y'all did? Everyone remembers the dance, right? Finally, and probably the most important thing, is they are unable to criticize the property. No property is perfect for anybody. This sounds counterintuitive, but it's one of the most important parts of the purchasing process. Think about it. When you go to, even when you go just to say Walmart or Target or whatever, and you're picking out whatever you're picking out for your house or whatever, you're looking at it and you're going, well, does this fit on the table? Is it really what I want? Does it do everything I wanted it to do? Can I make it work? That's your thought process in the store. And doesn't it drive you crazy when there's somebody following you around going, can I help you? Can I help you? Can I help you? Can I help you? Of course you want help when you ask for it, but you don't want someone following around bugging you. So, a house is no different than that. No one house is perfect for anyone. It doesn't have every single perfect feature, no matter what the house is. There's always issues that the buyer will have to overcome in order to select your property. Maybe you wanted a double oven. Maybe the pool's smaller than you hoped. Maybe your furniture won't fit in the master bedroom. Whatever the issue is, it has to be overcome by the buyer. And they are not comfortable talking about the features they don't like about your house when you're there. They're not comfortable doing it. They feel like they're being critical, which they are, and that you will be offended. Leave the property, and they talk through these things that are bothering them, and more often than not, figure out a workaround and how they can make that house work for them. Bottom line is, nothing good comes from being at the property when the buyer's looking at it. Nothing. Leave the property. We know this is an inconvenience, but it will most often result in more offers and a higher selling price. We all like that. Minor inconvenience to put a couple $1,000s in your pocket, right? Thinking of selling your property? Our Master's Marketing Program identifies the most likely buyers, potential buyers, then showcases that property for those buyers. This gets you top dollar for your property or your business. Call or text us today at 386-866-1007 to get top dollar and leave when someone comes to look at it. Have a great day.